Rain is liquid water in the form of droplets that have condensed from atmospheric water vapor and then become heavy enough to fall under gravity. Rain is a major component of the water cycle and is responsible for depositing most of the fresh water on the earth.
Let's look at the science of rain and how raindrops fall. First, we will need the sun. When the sun shines on water on the Earth's surface, the heat of the sun warms the water, turning it into an invisible gas called water vapor. This process, the changing of water into a gas, is called evaporation. Because gases are lighter than liquids, water vapor rises up into the sky. And the further you move up and away from the Earth's surface, the colder the temperature gets. So in the sky, the water vapor cools and changes back into tiny water droplets. This change is called condensation and is the opposite of evaporation. Clouds are made up of tiny water droplets, so when condensation occurs in the sky, clouds form and grow. Let's take a closer look. When water droplets bump into one another, they stick together and grow in size. They continue to grow until they are too heavy and fall as rain. They even grow as they bump into one another on their journey from the cloud to the ground. And every single raindrop that reaches the ground is made up of 1 million of the original tiny water droplets. Raindrops fall on the ground surface where the sun can shine on them, and the whole process happens again. This is called the water cycle and keeps water moving from the ground to the sky, providing the water needed for plants, animals, and people to survive. So now you know.
What if rain really did disappear from our lives forever? The surrounding temperature will rise up. The central processes occurring in nature will disrupted, water bodies will all start drying up. The cycle of the water will broken forever. Our green and fertile land would become like a desert. Crops would not grow, where the disappearance of plants many which serve as food for human and animals.
And shortage of food and drinking water. Drought-resistant species will last for several times but eventually end up dying because of increasing dryness of the soil.
All plants will be prevented from reproducing. We may not be able to replace the oxygen. Humans and animals would difficult to survive and will go extinct. What happened to rainbow if there is no rain?
If rain disappeared, we will really miss those beautiful rainbows.
Why raindrops is important for rainbow?
How are rainbows formed? Using a bow and arrow. Ta-da! No. We usually see rainbows when it rains with the sun behind us. Sunlight contains 7 different colors. When sunlight hits a raindrop, each color bends differently, bounces off the inner surface, and exits the drop at a different angle. Observe that here, violet is at the top with red at the bottom. But in a rainbow, the order is reversed, right? This happens because each color exits the droplet at a different angle. High up in the sky, every color except red exits at an angle above our line of sight. Hence, only red reaches our eyes. Whereas, a few degrees below, every color except violet exits at an angle below our line of sight. Hence, only violet reaches our eyes. Similarly, colors in between red and violet exit in such a way that below red, we see orange, then yellow, green, etc.
If rain does not appear, what will happen toward our industry and global electricity would not be generated. Factories and industries will close down as they cannot be operated without water. Plus, water will become more expensive than gold or may be fought over among humans.
Examples of places where the rainfall is low in Earth.
That's the Khamsin, a dry, hot wind blowing in from the western desert. This wind can reach the speed of a race car, 93 miles per hour. You get hot, you dream of water, and then notice a small rain cloud. You see the rain pouring down from it, but the drops don't reach you because the wind makes it evaporate in the air. The situation gets worse because the wind creates a sandstorm. You take shelter inside an ancient dark building and wait for the storm to end. However, you could be in for a long wait. Sometimes these storms last up to 2 days. We arrive in Wadi Halfa, a small town in Sudan with a population of about 15,000. This is not only one of the driest places on Earth, but also one of the hottest. In 1967, a temperature of 127 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded here. The climate is extremely dry, but it sometimes does get some humid air. And when that happens, a haboob comes. This is a storm that creates a moving wall of sand and clay and reduces visibility to zero. You wouldn't be able to see your own hand if you stretched it out in front of you in this kind of weather.
Wiring is important to our life. Water is vital for sustaining life. Plants and animals are also heavily dependent on it to thrive and survive and stay hydrated. Rain is a necessity for agriculture. The water is vital for the maintenance of physiological and chemical processes that takes place within plant structure. Rain lets us make electricity through hydropower. Rain cools us. When the droplet reaches us, it cools its surroundings. Water absorbs a vast amount of heat as it has a high specific heat capacity.
So the conclusion. The absence of rain will lead to global catastrophe.
Life without rain is unthinkable, so we have to appreciate and save water.
No rain, no water, no life.